First place is first.
Okay. Well, there was this drunken bash at San Javier. And it went on for 3 days, every year. I went there every year. Witches sold amulets on the steps of the cathedral that they had rubbed on the genitals of the statues of the saints. There was a 26-kilometer foot race up the mountain. And the faithful walked barefoot or on their knees up the steep gravel road, all the way 26 kilometers. Chico had made a promise to God that he would walk barefoot up to San Javier because Chewy, his prettiest daughter, had not died after being stung in the face by a scorpion when she was 2 years old. Now, if he didn't do it, the devil could rightfully kill her one day. So Chewy was always urging Chico to make that painful walk. Well, it was the second cold night up in the mountains in Mexico. I was dancing with a Canadian girl who had come along for a cultural experience. A drunken ranchero full of life took her out of my arms and switched, forcing his wife to dance with me, shouting, "Hey, gringo, we're going to trade for a while." His wife was much too embarrassed to keep dancing for very long. And she and I ended up watching the other couple as the music played on. Well, that ranchero, he had a firm grip on the girl, who was looking at me and afraid, asking me in English to help her. Oh man, I didn't want to go into this. I started to move, but a gentle big hand closed on my shoulder, holding me back. A tall, big policeman was standing very close to me, and he was smiling. He leaned over and he said, in Spanish, "Hey, the dance is going to be over in a minute, man." And I waited with him with his hand on my shoulder until the music stopped. That meant I didn't have to go, right? And that frightened Canadian girl, she returned. All the couples drifted off the floor. And it was an easy end to what could have been a troublesome situation. Well, of course, for every honorable man who calms the scene like that cop, there are other men who use force just to be mean. Their fights, their stabbings. Men beat their wives. There are many inflexible men who take pride in the fear that others have of them. There are fishermen who rape other men as they sleep together on the beach to prove who's the greater man, because that guy's on top. That means macho. Macho just means who's on top. There are men who form their thumbnails into a sharp little knife. I knew that guy. He fixed outboard motors in Loretto. And if you came close to him, he'd pinch you and draw blood and make you bleed just because you got too close to him. There are men who are so mean that they don't even care about their mothers. Well, in the ocean, there are fish with eyes like owls and eagles. There are many other fish who live near rocks and hide. Sharks do have dead-looking eyes. On the land, they're brave dogs. And they're dogs who never think of being brave. Many people, they're either like wolves or they're like sheep. The macho men and women, those who are good or those who are evil. Macho can be good, macho can be good, macho can be evil. These folks, they're like yellowtail fish. And they have written the history of this world while the sheep sit and are looking at them. My father was hoping, as he starved himself to death this summer, that one day an army of good would conquer the world. It would be a magic army of men with 10% of all people, women, men, the good and powerful men and women, making the world in their image, while them sheep watched them. And this would be a magic army, flashing silver, and it would flow to the horizon.
Gene Still for mayor. This is right. Thank you, Dean. Next we have Dan. Looking forward to about a week.
Dan's a new one.
Welcome, Dan.
Let's see. Up next we have Brennan. Michael Brennan.
Thank you. Welcome to Poetry Night. Out of Poetry Night was birthed something that we do at the Cottage Grove Farmers Market. It's a poetry peddler. And it's Leo, Charles, and myself, and we always have a guest. Last week we was approached by Chris Bond, and she handed me a writing, something that she composed while riding a bicycle, right? With your little one on the back, right? On a bike seat, yeah. So this is a mother's, it can be a round, and it can be done as a round. You had 4 people. But I'll play it tonight just to get an idea of what she wrote. And I really liked it, and so I'll play for you. I haven't played it yet. Hold on. All that applause.
Just in case.
Just in case. We're warming up.
Right. Somebody quoted me a quote by a guy, I think that used to live in Eugene by the name of Stupid.
Yeah.
And he had a quote that I really like is, if we follow this quote, there would be an end to war. And he said, whatever you kill, you have to eat.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. All right, I'm so relaxed. I got to plug in my guitar. Yeah, this is do it here. So I envision 4 parts that can be sung as a round, but I'll just sing it for you straight out, and yeah. So this is Chris Bond wrote the words, and I guess I'm working on the music. Got you had my strength and support. And I offer you my strength and support. My heart is with you, my heart is with you. My heart is with you, my heart is with you. And my spirit is glad. Got my feet on the ground. Got my head's way up in the clouds. Got my eye on a distant star. My heart is with you, my heart is with you. My heart is with you, my heart is with you. And my spirit is glad. There you go. Chris Mark.
Hey, Mark. What's next for you, Leo?
Be down, Leo. Give us some words, man.
Do you know how I know that you write living poetry? When I hear your poetry, I have to write.
All right, that's good. That's amazing. You can listen and write at the same time.
I liked the ones about Crater Lake, so I just wrote this about Crater Lake. The mountain burst, flames falling like orange leaves to heaven, choking bitumen, making a pavilion out to the horizon. And when they could hear again, a lake of peace that surpasseth understanding gurgled like a little girl and smiled at them. All right, I think there is an amazing quote at the back, on the back of this book, and I'm just going to read it. It's something that candidate Donald Trump said, explaining himself, March 31st, 2016. And this is what he said. Real power is, I don't even want to use the word, fear. He thinks power is at the root, fear. Now, at the end of the original Amazing Blade Runner, there's that famous saying where before the man gives himself up to death and lets the doves fly in the air, he also says something interesting. He says, you know what slavery is? Slavery is fear.
Yes.
And in the three movies that make up John Carpenter's The Apocalypse Trilogy, The Thing, The Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness, the second one, The Prince of Darkness, is probably the least fabulous of the three films. But several places in it are some things like scenes of cinema that you can never see anywhere else, and all by themselves you'll remember forever. And one of them's like a TV going in the distance, like a man's dream. He's seeing it in a torn down house with sand blowing by, and he's shouting a prophecy of a warning from the future from this TV, like a voice from the future. And this is called An Ode for life's partisans. We must be partisans for life to defend the invisible country of life's ultimate victory. People go like dog packs if you walk by. If your eyes meet their eyes, they bare their rear teeth as if they turn on you like a dog pack in a mitten being sniffed by a curious kitten. They want to bluff you. They want to let them circle you, sniffing and nipping and trying to coax you into tears or a shout. They want to pull you in like a spider that fell into a sink with the water running. But if you walk on, wary, their eyes will slide from you like wet branches from the sides of a ferry. We must go as partisans for those who fell raising the banner of life's ultimate victory. We must control our eyes. We must prune our daily lives. Just as a sick man endures the nurse who measures his meal portions and weighs his stools, we must remember the beginnings and ends of sentences, and in bed at night recall our day run backward, events like links, a chain that anchors us to the sun. Was there an unguarded word? Did you leave a window open? To have a mind behind one's eyes is to live the life of a spy. Treat your thoughts as a cell. No one knows what another thought might tell. Marshal your hopes like a spy master. All your hopes are expendable when bland monsters come to power. Some cruel, some a fool, and the shadow coming over will feel to you like it does to a child to swim through a warm plume of urine left by another child in a public pool. We must go as partisans for the country of life's immortal and final victory. Tyrants and tyrannies pass by heaps of nameless humanity like elephants do anthills. The louder we are forced to sing anthems, the sooner we forget the verses in the middle. The sooner we make up whorehouse word substitutions for the pornographic scripture of propaganda. Look always on children. Here and now is the material promise that there will be children there and then. When the promised victory of life for men, for women, for life's partisans marches in.
Yeah.
I'm not getting up today.
Oh, you're not?
Sorry. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. In between mom.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Poetry night, Cottage Wow, it's amazing. Amazing, what a feast. Okay, well, it's interesting you just read some Poetry Peddler, because that's what I had. There's some poems I wrote at Poetry Peddler that either weren't picked up because the customer never came back, or I liked it and wrote another copy, or I guess, yeah.
Are those paid
Anyway,
for?
sometimes I have copies of them.
Are those paid for?
Yeah, it's, they're all paid. So there's a few of them that I modified slightly, but I'll read a few. All subjects, of course, given by the customer. First one's called Smoke, and I decided to put it into a haiku form. The west is burning. Sun and earth make fiery love. Smoke gets in my eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Hendrix. Guitar on fire, flame out fast, flung out Stratocaster, strung out on magic stratospheres, circling, haloing, raw rock power with angelic elegance.
Yeah.
If you're the one who requested that, you can come up and get it. This one was from Sam. Sam requested this. Organic food at the races. He's talking about the crash car race. Any fans here, I apologize. Organic food at the races is caviar at the hoedown, the Pope presiding at a shotgun wedding, Shakespeare on Trump's nightstand, silk toilet paper in the outhouse, or a cause for hope, a fresh daisy coming up through the landfill, grandma's home cooking coming back home. Idiot in chief. Idiot in chief. The world is his sandbox, wimps all around. He kicks sand in their eyes himself constantly. Portable ego mirror in front of his face, blinding him to all but him alone, chief in his idiocy, king of false with consequences for all.
Yeah.
Being alone. Being alone is a very rich emptiness, full of surprises, voices shy, coming into light, blinking, speaking so softly as they always were under the crowd. Alone, I may miss my friends, but find more me to be with. Indecision. Indecision is a ball of jello, multiplying possibilities the more I squeeze my mind around it. Indecision is a spider with too many eyes, and I'm caught in my own web, kaleidoscopic. Indecision is a multiple choice test answered by self-discovery. Okay, cows. From a local farmer with cows. Dull, domesticated, dreamy cows at a distance. From where I stand, a cliche on the landscape. Elmer's glue, moo, over the moon, milk, meat, and Gary Larson cartoons. Maybe someday soon I'll make that leap, cross that grate from it to you, and gaze into moon pie eyes, surprise myself to see deeper than what we use cows for, or metaphor. A cow up close is something more. And finally, red moon, which I think we had a red moon that night or night before or something. A rare tone in the sky, blood bone on high, kiss of fiery longing cast from a distant sun. Warmth and sharp relief from darkness, suspended in mystery, slow arc to earthly bed to shed this mood onto the constellations of my memory. Thank you.